at the She event, and I have Boubacar sitting next to me. Can you introduce yourself and tell us the inspiration behind what you created?
I am Boubacar Balde. I'm from West Africa, Guinea Conakry. I came here in 2019 and I'm an honor student at Ivy Tech Community College and I'm also the author of Saviyazi.
Okay. Can you tell us more about your book, Savvy Yazzie?
So Saviyazi is a diversity book. It's about a book about my tribe in Guinea, West Africa.
Can you hold it up?
So Saviyazi is a book about my tribe, the Fulani tribe in West Africa, in Guinea Conakry, and it's a diversity book and it's very educational books to teach children to understand cultural differences.
I love it. Can you set it up there in the front on the stand?
Okay.
You don't have to hold it. So, what inspired you to move to Indianapolis?
I'm sorry?
Why did you move to Indianapolis?
Oh, well, that's a good question. I moved to Indianapolis because I wanted to study after I left Guinea. I decided to come to study in the United States and I wanted also to meet my family. So that's the reason I moved to Indianapolis.
Okay.
Because in my country it's like it's a little bit hard, like we know we don't have advanced education. That's why we left there. When we left there and come here and after we study here we have more opportunities when we get go back there.
Okay. You have any children?
No, I'm not married.
Okay.
That's pretty cool. It's actually what's surprising is you're the second person we talked to today from Africa, uh, which I there's a million questions I could ask about it, but again, so you had did I couldn't remember if you heard you went into like the inspiration kind of I think earlier we were talking about the inspiration behind the book was kind of gain exposure and education, you know what I'm saying, to I guess back to Africa. Was it is it you said Ghani?
I'm so it's Guinea.
Guinea.
Guinea Conakry.
I'm embarrassed.
Guinea.
I'm
I was
embarrassed.
gonna say
So
Yeah.
in Guinea, how long have you been here in the States?
I'm been in the United States since 2019 and I learned English here too.
Okay. Okay. What and you're gonna have to excuse my ignorance. What's the language over it? What's the language in Guinea?
So in Guinea, I am each tribe speak their own language.
Okay.
I am part of the Fulani tribe,
Uh-huh.
so we speak Fulani.
Okay.
But there is also other tribe that speak who are like the Malinke and the Susu. And each tribe speak their own language and they have their own clothes and they have their own foods. But even though we have those differences, we all connect together and we share those clothes. Like you can see someone who's like a Malinke, they dress up the Fulani fabric, which is called the lipke. And you can see someone who's Fulani and dress up the Malinke fabric because we are just like, you know, it's a community.
With the way the tribes work, how would that correlate in the states? Is that like, you know, is that like counties or cities? When you say like there's multiple tribes, is that like communities? How is that in Guinea?
So Guinea, we have we have Middle Guinea, Basse Guinea, Haute Guinea.
Hmm.
So in the map, we are like it's separated, but you can see the Fulani people reside in Middle Guinea,
Hmm.
but you can see people from Middle Guinea like move to Basse Guinea. Basse Guinea is where is the capital. The capital of Guinea is Conakry, so you can see a lot of people there, like different tribes.
Okay. Okay. So one of the things I thought was cool is you said that some of the proceeds from your book sales go towards
So some of the pushes going to the newcomer program of IPS.
Uh huh.
It's a school where I used to be a student there, and now I'm giving back to the community
Okay.
because I want to help those students, and I
Okay.
feel like they are just like me.
Do what do they do? I mean, what is it a or the foundation like they are they is it international students that come over to the states, or is it?
So it is international student
Mhm.
from like Mexico, like South America, and
Mhm.
then student from Africa also
Uh huh.
come. It's like student from all over the world. Like sometimes you can meet some people, student from like who are from like Asian countries
Mhm.
or Arabics. So it's a different students.
If and I know one of the things is, y- I love the idea. I love the idea of education. I think, one of the things that as we go through life and we get exposed to more things, we kind of realize how we're more alike than anything. Um, I would say what is one of the things, what is one of the maybe cultural similarities that you've noticed since moving here versus maybe the biggest like cultural difference.
Well, I will say that African Americans and people from Africa have a little bit of cultural differences,
Mhm.
maybe food, and also sometimes the way some people's, like they approach you and want to talk to you that way. And we have something like some people are nice
Mhm.
and they want to know about, like they are attached to the culture. Like African American, what I noticed that they likes who they are,
Mhm.
and it's like the same thing that Africans like who they are. And some African American, they want to know about Africa. Like sometimes they want to ask you, hey, what does it feels like in Africa? It's not like they being nosy, but they want to know because they know maybe they're from there. And some people tell you, oh, one day I would love to go to visit Africa.
Mhm. I would love to. The on- Originally, when I was in the military, I had always wanted to go back to Egypt. We were flying over one day, and I had seen seen the pyramids, and it fascinates me. I want to go there. I want to go to Rome and see the cathedrals. But I think kind of going to some of those cities, um, you know, for instance, like I think Guinea would be somewhere. What I'm saying, it would be very interesting to visit, just because I imagine it to be different, but it's because I don't know, and I don't know if that's something that you kind of are highlighting, in your book, is, kind of like I said, exposing people to that. Is that kind of what the purpose of it is, or?
Yeah, that's part of it because I want to teach children to understand there is many tribes around the world,
Mhm.
but each tribe have their own differences, and
Mhm.
that's something that they can learn. And whenever they are out there around the world, they are able to lead because I believe that children are the next generations.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. I've I always say, I kind of say that is, children. That's the foundation block. That's the thing that, when I talk about cultures, the way we raise our children up, what I'm saying, is kind of the identity of a culture. And I think if we did a better job, highlighting things like this, our children will get exposed to more of a diverse world, what I'm saying, and more of an organic version, rather than, some of the the fictitious versions of it that we see on TV.
Yes, I mean, I like that point that you highlight because, some of the kids in Africa, when you talk to them, they know like a little bit about what kids here like.
Hmm.
But when you ask kids from here what kids from Africa likes, they don't know. So that's the reason we want to be able to show them African tribes, African culture.
And I say that because I'm I'm an old man, and if somebody was to sit down and ask me, I would sit down. I would be very, very, very ignorant to it. And like I said, there's been no exposure to it. You know what I'm saying? Almost, honestly, I'll be honest. I probably, if somebody would have been like, name an African country, I probably wouldn't have said Guinea, and that's embarrassing. That's that's no, it's for real. That's embarrassing.
Yeah, and
Even
they want to erase our history and culture out of the schools because they're saying that it's a negative experience, but it's a negative experience because that's all y'all want to show us is things in our history that'll make us hate ourselves. That's what y'all choose to have for the kids to read about is slavery in the schools for Black History Month.
so yeah. So you had created is it a character or a set of characters that the book follows?
Yeah, so the name of the character is called Yazi. Her name is Yazi,
Okay.
and she's the American girl who was born and raised here, and then she went to Africa to learn culture.
And about how she's younger or
She's like a 7 years old,
okay.
and when she go to Africa, she will meet another girl same age of her. It's named Buba, and Buba is, I mean, it's my name, so
Self titled. And you said that this is basically going to be like an ongoing series. It's how many books out? Is it one book out now? Or?
yes,
Okay. And it's going to be like just a continued series.
yeah.
Okay. Okay. Do you have an idea when the next book, when the next book is going to drop for us, or?
Well, the next book I plan on teaching uh, Yazi to learn the history of the land because
Mhm.
in my country, like each land have like the Fulani, there is a history behind their lands, how they built that and how they come to Guinea
Mhm.
because they was not from Guinea.
Okay. Where the I because I'm trying to picture it in my head, but where's Guinea like located exactly? Oh, just referential. Is it like upper peninsula Africa, west coast?
It's in West Africa
Okay, okay,
and near the Atlantic Ocean.
okay, okay, okay. That helps me out. I'm sorry. Hey, that helps me out a lot. So basically, is it each one of the books is kind of going to have like a lesson to be learned about about different culture, different aspects of the culture.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this one, so you said that the second one's going to be, generally about the land. The first one you said was she's, she's getting there. She's meeting. You said it's just the culture, just the culture in general. Okay. 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 I'm gonna have to check it out, man. I'm gonna have to. I would definitely like. We've had a couple books today that I think it'd be interesting to kind of share those like with my kids. And like I said, man, opening that world up, that the world, to let them know that the world is just a little bit bigger than you. And I think that that's a very good idea, and very much respected, because even even some of us old guys should probably crack the book open and
I think they will definitely be interested and they will learn a lot.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, what advice would you give to the families who want to take a trip there? What type of traveling trip tips would you give us? We're trying to plan a trip.
Oh, what kind of advice do I have
Mhm.
for those? Well, I mean, I would recommend them first to read my books because right here she and her family and her didn't know where they was going.
Mhm.
So
Hmm.
I
A lot of
think
us wouldn't.
yeah, I think first of all they are supposed to learn about the country they're going to, maybe just to Google and learn a little bit about and know what language the country speak because that is important when you go to a country and you're new. you want to be able to interact with those
Mm-hmm.
people, right? So
Mm-hmm.
being interested in their language, it's very something important.
Yeah, very true. And I think that's just I think that's just in general is one of the things I always teach my kids is when you walk in a room, when you walk in a room of take a survey of it, and don't be a disruption to that, you know that which I think sometimes when it comes to international travel, at least for the people that's considerate enough, I think sometimes that's what causes some of the hesitation to come because not knowing,
Absolutely,
not
absolutely. I
knowing.
mean, and it can be also scary, when I
Hmm.
just came to the United States, that was my first trip. I didn't know. I even didn't know how to put my seatbelt on the airplane. So it can be scary, definitely.
How
Yeah.
I mean, how was that? What I'm saying, I know you have the decision like, oh man, you're you're coming to America, and there's a whole new language to learn, there's a whole new culture to take on. I can't I can't imagine that transition. So I mean, how was that for you?
Well, for me, I was scared, but you also need to follow your heart.
Hmm.
What do you think? Whatever I think was right, I was just following it and thinking. It's just like you are in a forest and you are just following the road. You don't know
Yeah,
where you're going. So,
yeah.
but it definitely, when you are open to speak to people, asking them questions. When
Hmm.
I come here, like greet people and say, "Hey, I'm from here." Tell them where are you from, because that is part of who you are.
Hmm.
Tell them where are you from, and maybe what you are doing. And if you have any questions or you need help, tell them, "Hey, I need this. I need help with this. Can you please assist me?"
Hmm.
That's how people will say, "Oh, I think she really need help, so I want to help her."
That's cool. That's cool, man. You know, these conversations, they've been, I feel like I've learned a little bit. If nothing else, I've learned that how little I know. I've learned how little I know. So with the book, where I know you said that it's in which libraries?
So my book is at the Central Library of Indianapolis, and it can be placed in all the public libraries, and it's also at the Greenwood Library, and it is also at the Indiana State Library.
Okay, okay. And how often? So it's in the library. Is it for sale anywhere? Or is it just
It's on
It is
Amazon.
it is for sale on Amazon.
okay?
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool. Hold on, I'm sorry.
Okay, on Amazon. How much is the book?
The book is $14. 14, 1 5.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I see. Oh, what happened? Was that your phone making a noise? It was
I
like
think it
some
was the
weird
phone
It
here.
was some weird noise. Yeah. Oh.
Do we need to?
Say it again?
Okay.
No? Okay.
Sorry, guys. My alarm went off. I apologize. Um, but yeah. So Amazon, it's in the libraries. Do you have any when you were saying that you said it was in certain libraries, but even though then they can still request it though. If if they go to a library that it's not on the shelf, they can still.
Yeah, like for example, for the public library, if you go to the Central Library, the
Hmm.
book is based there, and if you request the book for example, if you request the book at the Franklin Road Library,
Hmm.
they will bring it to that branch.
Yeah, yeah. So I would expect this book to be uh checked out, at all, checked out, or on hold, I guess. I forgot what it's called. When you go to the book and you see if the book is
Back
there, checked
order?
out.
Oh.
It's checked out all the
Yeah.
time.
Okay.
Checked out all the time. Yeah. Did you have? Is there anything I guess that you wanted to share? Anything else that you wanted to, I guess, let the people know about? Your future endeavors or anything else you wanted to share?
Well, I will say that I'm really proud that my book is placed at a special collections at the Central Library.
I'm proud too.
Yeah.
I feel honored to be sitting here. Like I'd
How
have met.
long did it take you to write the book?
I'm sorry.
How long did it take you to write the book?
To write the book, it will take me. So I wrote the book when I was taking my ESL classes. At the time, I was learning English. So I might say it was just a year because I needed to edit. After, like, while I was writing the book, I was learning English at the same time.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. So, what advice would you give to other authors out there who are writing their first book?
Well, that is really good question. That is a really good
Oh,
question.
it's not recording. Okay.
So for me, I will say to those actors to try to do some research because when I was wanted to publish this book, I did a lot of research. Like do some research, try to see if you can find a publisher, and then try to edit your book professionally. Try to make sure you always give the best. Like if it's your story, the story you are writing, try to make sure it is a good story because that's how people will be interested in. And then after you publish it, think about marketing it because marketing is the hardest part of publishing.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. Um, just went blank. Oh, how much does it cost to get started? For those new authors out there wanting to know like the initial investment to publish their own book, how much money would you say they would need to get started?
Hmm. That is a really good question because so I will say maybe around 3,000 just because you will like pay small stuff because with my publisher I publish with Enchanty DNA Publishing.
Mm-hmm.
Miss Danola Burton. I published with her. I believe our contract was 2,000, something like that. So, but it's sometime you also go with some other publishing companies where you give them the story and then they pay you.
Okay.
Mm.
So it's just a different process.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have you done any like book readings or anything with the book?
I went. I performed at the Greenwood Library.
How was that? How was that experience?
I think the kids really liked it because they was interested in asking me about Africa,
That's good.
what made me write the book, and they was like, that is really cool. And I have a cartoon. I showed them the cartoon of the book. They really like the cows and all that. So.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool.
And I was also happy that to see the kids are liking what I'm doing because I mean that's the big importance of doing this. You want to
Mhm.
make sure the kids like that and they are interested.
Yeah. Well, it's like I said, I think it's good that that interest is there. Before because those roadblocks aren't there. And it, like I said, it's helping establish that foundation that expand their world. Because kids are like a blank slate, man. So if the fact that you can get to them early and kind of expose them to that, they're like decades ahead of me. Where they don't even know how to pronounce it. So.
And I try to teach them new word like about my tribe,
Mhm.
like ajarama mean hello. I try to teach them those words. And some kids like I went to Westview Elementary that's in Muncie
Mhm.
and I visit a classroom and those kids was asking me, "Hey, how many language do you speak?" And they asking me, "Hey, about cooking because I show them how the Fulani dressed up and I
Mhm.
show them the difference between the city in Guinea and the village in
Okay.
Guinea. So that's what I show them. So they ask me many questions.
That's good. That's pretty cool. That's pretty good. Well, I appreciate, man. I appreciate you taking the time to sit down with us and share that. Um, hopefully, hopefully you guys are able to catch it while it's on the shelf at the library, and if you can support it, at Amazon, support these authors, trying to diversify our world and make it a better place. I appreciate you for spending time with us. This was great.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
Thank you.